What is going on, guys? And in this video, I'm going to be dropping my full NFL season predictions. A lot of work gone into this video over the last few days. There's a lot of different matchups in the Super Bowl that I was looking at. A lot of different... In my opinion, there's like 8 teams, I believe, that can get to the Super Bowl. I'll name those teams right now. It's the Bengals, the Texans, the Chiefs, the Ravens, the Niners, the Lions, the Rams, the Eagles, and the Packers. 9 teams. And then the 10th, there's another AFC team. The Jets was the other team I was thinking of. But I'm going to talk about all of that. And keep in mind, the divisional standings can look different. The playoff picture can look different. But those are 10 of the favorites to win the Super Bowl. Let's check it out. Starting it off with awards. And starting it off right here with Comeback Player of the Year. There's a couple good options. I mean, you had Joe Burrow. Aaron Rodgers obviously weighing in, but I can go with Joe Burrow to win this award. I think Joe Burrow is going to have a crazy comeback season after obviously a disappointing season last year, going with injuries and all that type of stuff. So I think he comes back and he's going to win that award. For Coach of the Year, a lot of good options. Kyle Shanahan, Andy Reid, Mike Tomlin. I don't know why Mike Tomlin came to my mind. Dan Campbell. You just have a lot of coaches, but I'm going to go with Sean McVay of the Rams. He took a year off a couple years ago. He came back last year. Good season for the Rams. They added a lot this year. He's a really smart coach. He's been in the Kyle Shanahan family tree and the Ed McCaffrey tree and all that type of stuff. I think he's going to go. The Rams are going to have a good season in my opinion, and Sean McVay will win that award. Moving it over here, Offensive Rookie of the Year. I'm going to give this one to Jayden Daniels. And look, it could be Caleb Williams. I'm not arguing against him, but Jayden Daniels, he won Heisman last year. I think he's the better quarterback against Caleb Williams. I think he's more skilled. Caleb Williams, people just say his game fits the NFL more. I would honestly disagree. I'm going to go with Jayden Daniels to win this, and yes, I'm not taking Drake May to win it. Defensive Rookie of the Year, a lot of good options to win this one, but I'm going with Chop Robinson, the guy that the Dolphins drafted. I think you can get him. It's like the 6th guy, and you can put like not much money. I'm obviously not betting on him, but you don't have to put much money on him to win it, and you can get like a lot. I don't even know what I'm saying, but just comment down below what are like the odds of him winning it. But I know Chop Robinson. I love his game. Offensive Player of the Year, I'm going to give it to Christian McCaffrey, my favorite, or the favorite I have to win it. I love Christian McCaffrey so much. Go Niners, obviously. He won it last year, and if he stays healthy, this award's pretty much his. If he does get hurt, I think it could go to CeeDee Lamb, or maybe Justin Jefferson. Obviously, Tyreek Hill's in there. I think Bijan, Breece Hall, guys that are up there as well. I'm going to give Defensive Player this year to TJ Watt. I think that he was snubbed from it last year. Myles Garrett had an incredible season, but TJ Watt, he did have less sacks and that type of stuff, but he was double-teamed more than Myles Garrett was. I think he's better than Myles Garrett is, so I'm going to give Defensive Player of the Year to TJ Watt. And then finally, the MVP last year, Lamar Jackson won it. And look, there's different types of seasons. Last year, Lamar went off. I'm not predicting the Ravens to have the best season. You guys will see that, though, in the end of the video. CJ Stroud was up here. Joe Burrow was up here. Non-QBs was like Christian McCaffrey, Tyreek Hill, those type of guys, CeeDee Lamb. But I am picking Patrick Mahomes to win it. Yes, it's a very simple answer. And yes, also, he's just Patrick Mahomes, and what can he not do? And that's not even Glaze, so I'm going to take Mahomes to win that one. But that's a really interesting award, really, every year. Comment down below who you think's going to win MVP. Next, we're going on to divisional standings. We're going over pretty much the standings of every division. Then I'm going to give you the AFC, or my AFC and NFC playoff picture, pretty much. And also a few teams that just missed out on it. But let's start it off right here with the AFC East. And no, this isn't really in any order, or the divisions aren't in any order. It's not East, North, South, West. It's not really like that. I just randomly put divisions in there. But it is AFC to NFC. So we're starting off right here with the AFC East. And in last place, I've got the New England Patriots. And look, I love Drake May. I think he's going to be amazing, but this is not the year. They don't really have... they have a good defense, but they don't have an offense at all. And it's just the Patriots. You don't really expect much from them when they don't have Brady or Gronk or anything like that. Now, there are 3 teams, in my opinion, that can win this division. I'm going to put the Dolphins in 3rd place, though. I think they'll finish with about a 9-8, 10-7 record. Record that could still qualify for the playoffs. We'll see. In 2nd place, though, in this division, I've got the Buffalo Bills. Josh Allen, obviously, still there. Amazing roster. People are calling him the most overrated quarterback in the NFL. I disagree. He's up there, though. But he's still Josh Allen at the end of the day. And yeah, winning this division, I have the Jets. They have the best defense in the league. If Aaron Rodgers does come back and perform, he's going to be amazing. So I've got the Jets winning that division. Moving on to the AFC North. This is another really interesting division, and I'm going to put the Browns in last place. It's just the Browns, they didn't have a crazy offseason this year. They did pick up Jerry Jeudy, who I think is going to be a really good addition. Defense is still the same as last year. It's arguably the best defense in the league. Offense just isn't that great. We don't know the status of Nick Chubb. He's likely going to miss. He is going to miss the first 4 games of the season. So putting them in last, they could still finish with like an 11-6 record, but their floor is like 6-11, 7-10. Next, I've got the Steelers, 9-8. You already know. Let's just move on. Second place, I've got the Bengals, and winning this division, I've got the Ravens. I think the Ravens are going to have a slightly worse year than last year. It's just you can't pick the same team to win it every year. There's going to be injuries and that type of stuff. I think the Bengals are going to be back and healthy. Obviously, Jamar Chase getting his new contract. They're going to be good. In the AFC West, this is the most straightforward division. I think everybody can mostly agree on predictions for this division, but I'm going to put the Broncos in last, and I'm going to put the Raiders, the Chargers, and the Chiefs are undoubtedly going to win this division. The AFC South is another interesting one, a division that's gotten a lot better over the last couple of years. We got the Titans, the Jaguars, the Colts, and the Texans in this division, and I kind of just read down from it. But yeah, I'm going to put the Titans in last. Their offense is pretty good. Obviously, they're hoping DeAndre Hopkins gets healthy and back. They did get, Calvin Ridley this offseason. Good pickup for them, but I'm going to put them in last. Just not a great team. A really bad offensive line, really bad defensive line, and just defense in general. Second to last, I'm going to put the Jaguars. The Jaguars do have potential to win this division, even though I don't necessarily think it's that close. But Trevor Lawrence, we don't know how good he's going to play. He was really good 2 years ago. Last year, pretty disappointing year. A lot of people were taking him to win the Super Bowl as an underdog pick, which I didn't understand, and I'm happy I didn't understand it at the time. Second place, I'm going to put the Colts, and obviously the Texans, number 1. I think the Texans are the best team in this division. It's not that close. CJ Stroud, best quarterback in the division, amazing defense, added Stephon Diggs this offseason. Colts are going to be a good team too. If Anthony Richardson can come back and get healthy, then I think they're going to be good. Moving on to the NFC, and I put the NFC West first. And yeah, starting it off in last place, I do have the Seattle Seahawks. Seahawks, not a good team. Geno Smith, not a great quarterback. They were pretty good a couple years ago. They did get the 7 seed, and the Niners obviously beat them in the wild card, but it just is not a special team. It's a team that's getting worse. They're getting older, and I'm putting them last. Maybe a 6-11, 7-10 record, but still pretty good division. Next, I'm going to put the Cardinals. Cardinals, nothing special. Kyler Murray's going to be back and healthy. He's an amazing fantasy quarterback, but just they don't have much talent. They have a really bad defense. James Conner, I think he's a good running back. Marvin Harrison, I think he's going to be a really good player. Trey McBride's going to be a really good tight end, but just not much potential there from the Cardinals. Second, I'm going to put the Rams. I'm not putting the Rams over the Niners. I don't know what we're doing. The Rams are an incredible team, though. It's a really good defense. Matthew Stafford, if he comes back, stays healthy, and the rest of that offense stays healthy. I think if Cooper Kupp stays healthy, that's just going to be such a crazy threat with Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua. Tutu Atwell still there as well. Kupp was out last year. Tutu Atwell was just amazing. So I think if he stays healthy, that team's going to be really good. And then, at number 1, the Niners. Nothing to say there. Moving on to the NFC East, I've got the Commanders in last place. I was thinking about the Giants in last place, but they're pretty equal teams, and I like the Giants more, so that's the reason why I put the Giants over the Commanders. Nobody cares about the bottom 2 teams. I think Jane Daniels will win Offensive Rookie of the Year, though. With that said, then yeah. And also, in fantasy, please don't draft Malik Neighbors. Not the guy you want to go with. I get that he's young. I think he's going to be really good, but you don't know who's going to be the quarterback, and it's the Giants. They're known to mess up, and people are worried that he's going to be like Kadarius Toney, so don't draft him. In second place, I got the Cowboys. I think the Cowboys got a lot worse this offseason. They signed Dalvin Cook today, a veteran running back. They have Cook and Elliott, 2 running backs that aren't that bad right now, but they are washed. They're out of their primes. And at number 1 in the NFC East, I've obviously got the Eagles. Moving on to the NFC South, I think this is a pretty interesting division. I feel like there's 2 teams that could both end up as the bottom and 2 teams that could both win the division potentially, but it's not really in the middle, if you know what I'm saying. But this could be a hot take, and call me crazy. I have the Saints losing this division, and look, the reason why is, I think Alvin Kamara is going to be amazing. He's going to be one of the best running backs in the league this year, amazing fantasy running back. I just don't trust their receiving core. I don't trust Derek Carr to perform amazing. I've just never been the biggest fan of Chris Olave. They don't have a great defense, not a great offensive line. It's just a team that has so many things that can go wrong. And yeah, I've got the Panthers next. I don't know why I need to explain that, so I'm not going to explain it. Next, we got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I was originally wanting them to win this division. I just like Mike Evans so much. I think he's so good. Another 1,000-yard receiving season from him we're not going to be surprised when it happens. And Baker Mayfield, good quarterback. I think he's going to have a good season. And yeah, shout out Rachaad White. I think Rachaad White's going to be amazing this year. But the Falcons, they did add Kirk Cousins. I do have to put them at 1. Bijan Robinson's going to be back. We're going to see what the running mixes between him and Algier are looking like. Drake London, I wouldn't draft him in fantasy. It's an interesting fantasy division, definitely, because every team has a really interesting receiver. But let's move on to the final division, the NFC North, arguably the most interesting division in the NFL. I think I've said that about every division so far, but let's get into it. I think the Vikings are going to lose this division. Only upside of their team is Mr. Justin Jefferson. Next, we got the Bears. The Bears added a lot this offseason. Keenan Allen, amazing wide receiver too. But the only problem is I just don't trust a rookie quarterback in Caleb Williams, but they do have a pretty good team, and I wouldn't be surprised if they're up as a Super Bowl contender after the season. Next, we've got the Green Bay Packers. I think the Packers could win this division. The Packers are a crazy loaded team, crazy offense with Josh Jacobs. Jordan Love's just going to keep getting better. Amazing receiving core. They have 4 guys that can arguably be the number 1 receiver, which is just wild. Dontavian Wicks, I think he's so good. He could be the number 1, but I think he's the number 4 behind Jaden Reed, obviously, Christian Watson. And yeah, obviously winning that division, I've got the Lions. They're so good. They could maybe win the NFC. I don't know. We'll see. But now on to the playoff pictures. Now we are predicting the AFC and NFC playoff pictures. This was really tough, but in the AFC, getting the bye, I've got the Chiefs. I think Mahomes is going to have a crazy year, and we will see what happens in the playoffs, the rest of the playoffs, see if I predict the Chiefs to three-peat, pretty much. Getting the 2 seed, I've got the Ravens. I think it's going to be a similar season for the Ravens, maybe a little worse, as I said earlier. Getting the 3, I've got the Texans. Getting the 4, I've got the New York Jets. I think the Jets, Texans, Ravens, those teams could all get the 2. All of them could get the 4. I was thinking about getting the Jets the 2, maybe the Texans the 2 over the Ravens, but I ended up going with the Ravens at the 2. Getting the 5 seed in the first wildcard spot in the AFC, I've got the Cincinnati Bengals. I think they're so good, they're gonna get it. They have to get one of the better seeds in the wild card, which is the 5, really not gonna be the 6. Getting the 6, I've got the Bills. They're still gonna make the playoffs. And getting the 7, just sneaking in, I've got the Dolphins. Sorry to hear it for all Steelers, Chargers, and Colts fans. Those are the 3 teams I listed as just missing out, and that is the full AFC playoff picture. Checking it out over here in the NFC. Okay, and look, I'm gonna make a purpose. I'm just gonna leave myself a comment not to cut this out in the video. I know this is kind of weird, but yeah, the Niners are the 1 seed. I don't know why I'm laughing when I say that. But it's not even biased. We are the 1 seed. We're gonna get the 1 seed again. The Lions will get the 2. The Eagles will get the 3. And I've got the Falcons at the 4. Thinking that the Falcons weren't even gonna make the playoffs. That kind of just gave away what team doesn't make the playoffs. But down here, I've got the Packers getting the 5 seed. They could even win that division, as I said a minute ago. I got the Rams getting the 6 seed. And I've got the Cowboys getting the 7 seed, just sneaking in there. I think the Rams and the Packers both have better rosters and better teams than the Cowboys. And neither of them will choke in the playoffs over the Cowboys. Yeah, we're going in here. Oh yeah, the Buccaneers, Bears are we're the 2 teams that missed out. We're going into the wild card right here. The Ravens will be hosting the Dolphins, and this is my upset pick. I am picking the Miami Dolphins to upset the Baltimore Ravens in the playoffs, and I have a reason why. I don't know why, but when I think of this Ravens team, I just think of choking in the wild card. They just give me Cowboys-type vibes. I'm not trying to be funny or mean to the Cowboys, even though I don't like the Cowboys, but I just get vibes that they're just going to choke in the playoffs. I don't know why. The Dolphins will be a good team to do that, too. I think Tua gets his first playoff win, Tyreek's back in the playoff win column, and the Dolphins will move on. And yes, they will play the Chiefs. Texans and the Bills is the next game. I'm not going to overthink this one. I mean, it's a Stephon Diggs versus Bills rematch. That's what I was aiming for, and I'm going to give the Texans to win. They have the better roster and better team in every single way. Jets-Bengals is the next game. This was a tough one, but yeah, Joe Burrow's back. I'm going to give this one to the Bengals. The Jets are a really good team, really good defense. We'll see what the Bengals offensive line can do. It was the worst offensive line in the NFL a couple of years ago. It's changed a lot, though. Still not all that great, but I think they will get the win. Moving on here to the NFC, we got the Lions and the Cowboys in the 2 seed versus 7 seed game. Not going to overthink this one. The Lions will get their revenge and move on. And the Cowboys will lose in another wild card game, which is just hilarious. Over here in the 3-6 game, we got the Eagles and the Rams. I'm going to give the Eagles a win. Last year, I did predict this to be the 3-6 game, or maybe the 2-7 game, actually. And I did predict the Rams to upset the Eagles. That did not happen. The Eagles did have a major fall off. This year, the Eagles are going to be back. Saquon's going to be really good, and they will lose. They will beat the Rams, not lose. In the final wild card game, I'm going to pick the Packers to beat the Falcons. I think the Packers are a better team than the Falcons. They should win that game. And now we're moving on to the divisional rounds. In the divisional game, starting it off, we got the Chiefs and the Dolphins. Not going to overthink this one. I'm going to go with the Chiefs. That is the 1-7 seed game, and it will be another 7 seed beating a 2 seed, which is interesting. Over here in the 3-5 game, we got the Texans-Bengals. Really interesting game. I would love to see this game in the divisional. I'm going to pick the Bengals to win. Joe Burrow is back. I think the Texans do have a better roster on paper, but Joe Burrow is kind of like Mahomes, so just a slightly more rip-off version. He's so good. It was kind of like 2020, 2019, that type of time. Deshaun Watson was the rip-off Lamar Jackson at that time, which is so funny. Still funny to think about. Niners-Packers over here. Can't take the Packers to beat the Niners in a playoff game. Last year I was at that game. Downpour. I was wearing shorts. It was bad. Niners or Lions and Eagles, but the Niners do advance to the NFC Championship. Once again, that will be 4 years in a row. But yeah, over here, we got the Lions and the Eagles. Really good game. Gonna pick the Lions to win. Be interesting to see Lions-Cowboys, but no, I'm picking the Lions to beat the Eagles. Good game, though. In the AFC and NFC Championships, we got the Chiefs and the Bengals and the Niners-Lions. I'm gonna pick... Oh, this is so tough. I was thinking about changing it right as I was talking here, but no. I'm gonna pick... I hate to do this. I have to pick the Chiefs to beat the Bengals. In a close game, it's going to be really close. Maybe another stupid play by the Bengals at the end, but I have to choose the Chiefs. I don't want to choose or bet against the Chiefs. A Chiefs-Niners rematch would be insane, and I will pick the 49ers to beat the Lions. Not biased. The Niners can easily get back to the Super Bowl if you're a Niners fan or not. And in the Super Bowl, the 49ers will win. We will beat the Chiefs 28-24, a really close game, and Christian McCaffrey wins the MVP of the Super Bowl. Thanks for watching, though. That was a really fun video to film. Took a while. That's it, though, and peace.